Hey, what's happening, everyone? Aaron Jackson here. This is not financial advice, the end times edition. Yeah, if you could do me a favor, like the video, subscribe to the channel, all that bullshit. Anyways, let's get into it. Let's earn those likes. Did you notice? Pretty rough week for the S&P 500, and early November is usually very, very bullish, very positive. So the fact that it's pretty weak this week is kind of telling. And so we got a few theories, a few theses. First up, the trade truce top, right? You have the bottom, the trade war panic, bottom, and now you have a bit of a truce with China. That's the top. That could be what's going on here. A couple other things that really are standing out here could be really what's going on. We've now got the longest government shutdown ever. So everyone knows about the passive bid. So, okay, what if these government employees, all these people that are being laid off, what if they have to start withdrawing money from their retirement accounts? That could be exactly what we're seeing here, because you're seeing the biggest, most liquid names like your NVIDIA's kind of act not so great. So definitely wondering if that is in play here. Yeah, and October layoffs, highest since 2003 for the month of October. Pretty wild. But let's get into it here, because we're obviously concerned about liquidity a little bit. I think that's going to be just a second. All right, we got it. Yeah. So we're worried about liquidity. First thing that comes to mind, obviously, is the Bitcoin below all the moving averages. We don't like that. Not a fan. You can say, hey, it's going to hold up around 100,000 here, and then in a few weeks, it's going to be back above 115K. Okay, that could be possible. That could be a thing where this little kind of top since like April, since May, is going to bust higher. For me personally, just wait for the all-time highs. You get fresh all-time highs through this 126K, substantially above that, you're going a lot higher. This is not, let's not, nickel and dime this thing. Let's catch the big move. And, if that happens, big move higher probably coming. If not, not going to rule out 72, 75K, something like that. And then we've got Ethereum. Boy, that was a trade of the summer, huh? For a minute there. Already given back half of the rally. Pretty impressive here. So I think if you want to panic into the Ethereum trade, the stable coins, what have you, there you go. Here's a better time to panic in versus when Tom Lee's all doing the media tour and all that, and everyone's just doing the whole groupie thing. But this can also, in the next little bit here, we can also see 2,600, 2,700, like no doubt, no problem. Again, it's a lot like Bitcoin. Like this above 5K, been saying it this whole time, above 5K, you get 20K. Maybe you just wait for the giant range break. It's just been a giant range since 2021. Easiest way to do it. But if you do want to get tactical, this 2,600, 2,700, and right here around 3,300. I think we want to see that get back above the 200 day. I think a lot of numbers line up in the mid 3,350, 70 area, something like that. So keep that in mind. Like, it's hanging in here, but we need to see more here. Next up, for all the damage we've seen in some of these stocks, NASDAQ 100 trades fine still, just kind of holding the prior breakout, just barely, but still holding it. And then you look at the S&P 500, not as great. I don't know. These, again, the recent highs are major target zones, confluences. Shout out JC Peretz, who noted in the chart report, Twitter, X Spaces, whatever, that this is actually an extension target from the 2009 breakout, the great financial crisis. So we've got layer upon layer of target areas right there, 6920. So that could be a tough nut to crack. But, on the positive side, we got the US dollar here. There is a chance that this is the high in the dollar for the cycle. Say Besant sees this and he wants to pull some, move some things around, what have you. Boom, 200-day, old high, rejection, topping candle formation. We don't know if that's going to be the case. It could be, it might not be. Time will tell. I think you'll see some long-term charts out there that are like, this is the bottom of a bigger channel. And yeah, it is, but that it doesn't mean that it's going to go higher from here. But if, dollar bears, there you go. It's your time to shine. What you got? And then, one thing that's really standing out lately is there's just not a lot of fear in the tape. And there are still plenty of semi AI names that are just ripping hard relentlessly. Still won't even go down. We'll get into it in a minute, but not shit for fear in the tape, given some of the fake breakouts we're seeing. Uh, Not a big fan of that. And then we've got the IPO index. I'm pretty surprised we're seeing this thing break down a little bit. Not convinced it's going to stay that way, but it's one of those times. It's like, all right, let's just respect the tape, because in the bull scenario, what, it sells off for a couple more days, maybe tags that 200 day, and then rips above that. That could be in play, but for now, you gotta wonder about it a little bit. And then we've got small caps here, IWM. So for the last couple months, actually a bearish divergence is built, especially since the government shutdown. And one thing that happened today is during the day, they tried to go false breakdown of Tuesday's low there around the 50-day moving average, and then just gave it all up into the close. So not dead yet, but are the institutions going to throw in the towel here? Is this all just going to be a fake breakout at the top of the range? It could be, but time will tell. Time will make it more obvious. And there's that intraday look where you have the Tuesday low and the little fake breakdown, and you're like, oh shit, we got something to work with, and then boom, on the close. No, you don't. But still, bigger picture is, RSI is kind of hanging in there, but at this point, we're just hoping and coping and mansplaining and all of those things. And what can be driving this market lower? Here's Treasury bonds that are inflation protected, and you're just seeing this a lot in the various bonds. Is like yields can start working higher. They are starting to work higher, and that could be like, if we're just seeing the low in rates, and the low in rates is in, well, damn, that's where you get to your Palantirs, where Palantir is trading like 100 times sales and all of that. That's where it starts to come into play. But some of these fake breakouts, some of these back tests, it was the hard retest day, right? For a lot of these tech names. Here's CrowdStrike. It held, found some buyers, the needs cybersecurity, right? But and then we've got, some of these AI components, like these optical components, Lumentum, they reported, look at this thing. I've been defending this AI rally just simply because of stuff like this. You got setups like this, charts like this. They're still going up even today. I think they're starting to run out of juice a little bit here. Probably, it's all say the last thing that gets hit in the market is the generals. Well, these dudes are the generals. Your memory stocks, your networking stocks, right? There's Micron. Look at this thing. Still, it's just relentless. Will not even let you in. Will not let you in. Zscaler, another cybersecurity name, trying to hold the old highs here, hold the breakout. Definitely some good ones to watch there. And then Ciena, another AI networking name. Yeah, look at this thing. That's cool. Well, they've been calling it an AI bubble that's unsustainable and it's going to top. Anyways, moved from 100 to 200 just in the last few weeks. So that's cool. And you can see, like, stock's gone nowhere for 25 years, right? Plenty of room to work the right side of the space. You got a very clear area there, 300, that stands out. Still, like, it can keep going if it wants into the end of the year. But here we go. NVIDIA, fake breakout of the prior high in this extension. Now, it's just one day. It's just a little bit of price action, still above a rising 50-day moving average. I don't think too many people are going to get that worked up about it. But, the one thing that stands out is we've seen a similar pattern in these type of AI names for months now, where you get the break of the extension target, right? The key level, it mattered there. And then you get the extension breakout, and then you get the back test, and the back test holds perfectly, and then it goes higher immediately, and then it's gone. Did not happen here. So is that the passive bid? Is that people taking money out of their retirement accounts? I don't know. Is it the GPUs just aren't it? We want the TPUs. We want the other infrastructure. Who knows? But, above the 50-day moving average, not as concerned. You get below that 50-day moving average, and then you're like, oh, it gets worse. It just gets worse from here. And then we've got Oklo. Oklo, like, no hate, no shade, but like, no revenues, kind of some, questionable management where it's like they've got the concept of a solution, no solution yet though. And it's, really, really, I mean, my God, for just tripled in a couple months there. So, breaking down here, fresh low, losing that 40 RSI, rejection of the neckline. Why wouldn't this thing be at like 70, 80, 60? I mean, it makes a lot of sense. But, time will tell. Time will tell. People might want these things on their book into the end of the year. But one real interesting thing that stands out in the AI was, man, for the first time, like one of the first times ever, people were just obsessed with a single company's credit default swaps on X, on Twitter. And, Monday and Tuesday, like this, the attention on the CDS here in Oracle are just kind of like unusual. So that really stands out. And sometimes when people, like a lot of people have their eyes on something for the first time, that can lead to an inflection. And we have a pretty interesting pullback area here in Oracle filling the gap, right? The earnings gap where, you get the Sam Altman, money in there, the 300 billion and whatever backlog. And it just goes crazy, the 40% day. And now it's just giving it all up. Now, if you just X Sam Altman, you X all these crazy people running around, signing deals, circular deals, all that bullshit, they're still building data centers all over the world. But another problem for Oracle is it's just another one of these stocks that has just been, caught up in this passive bid where it's just really expensive too. Like it's absurdly expensive, like 30 times sales, something like that. Big number. And it's just like the valuation is very hard to justify. So now the people are scrutinizing. They've had big wins. They've had big moves. And they're like, hey, well, what is going on here? What is going on here? You can see why they're like, no. Worry about the credit default spreads. Worry about the profitability of all these AI tools. But, kind of an interesting spot here. You'd expect, somewhere in this zone, we really expect it to hold. But hey, that doesn't mean it can't go to 210 next week, 215 next week, And then there's Palantir. Man, look at that nasty false breakout, just that ripper. And then just gave it all up here. A lot of people were commenting that, Karp's like, we won and the Harvard bros can suck my dick. And, like he says that every quarter. He said that every quarter since they were a public company, actually. So I don't think that's anything out of character. I think it just could be another one of those sort of, hey, everybody owns this in the retirement account and smart people are like, yo, get me out of this thing at this price. Like, that's enough of that. But again, like not going to get too bearish about a stock at the 50-day moving average, holding the 40 RSI on the daily. But like, do we expect it to hold up and break out? Well, if it holds up and reverses from here, that would be a hell of a nice surprise. We'll just put it that way. And then another AI component name, the optical networking component name, Coherent. They've got materials too. And, supply crunches, supply crises, right? Like this, it's happening. It's real. And another one just today, new high. So it's like, right. The AI bubble's bursting and there's no bailouts, et cetera, end quote. But also, in the moment, like these stocks have just ridiculous momentum and just fresh breakouts on a multi-year basis that are just helping them along. And then in genomics, check this out, big back test area in genomics. And you're like, okay, if rates are going higher, are we seeing just a parade of false breakouts there? Is just a bunch of fake moves that are just going to lead to tears here? Well, good question. Arc Genomics right now, right here, big back test area. You could say loses a little bit more, but like we want to see it firm up right now. Can it? Yes. Will it? We never know. That's why we demand a lot of risk for the reward, a lot of reward for the risk we take. And then the one that stood out to me when I was just flicking through some of these charts, you got Beam Therapeutics. We've talked about this mid 22s area in the past, right there. I don't know, stands out, decent area to shoot against. I bought some just to see if it'll hold up. Kind of think, well, another one near 40 RSI. So, and there's another one, Gene DX, WGS. That's been kind of nice looking base on base. I didn't get the chart in here. So, those are a couple, and this WGS, it's been nice relative strength. It's just traded sideways while most things have pulled back. But yeah, that'll do it for this episode. And is it the end times? Well, things don't look so great. I don't. The buy list is not so long, right? But you know, just got to stay calm, stay chill, let everyone else freak out. Hopefully, they do freak out. We're looking for a spike in the fear ratio, and I'll be sure to post it on the socials when that happens. I hope you guys have a great day. Thanks for tuning in.